Yes, we
Maybe not
can.
see me, but hear me since I'm sharing my screen. All right, it is exactly 4:15 and it is time to proceed with our Toastmasters, Pecten Toastmasters meeting. I'm sure that you're delighted. I don't know if you're as delighted as I am. Today is particularly a good one for me because I've had a day that would have typically, ended not so right, but lo and behold, I'm here, happy, excited, and just I feel good to be here today. Without further ado, we're going to go straight into some of the protocols of today's meeting. I'll be serving as the Sergeant at Arms, kicking off this meeting. A few ground rules. Please, if you are not speaking, ensure that you mute your microphone. And if you have the need to speak, use the raised hand emoji or icon or type in the chat box. Also, if you want to make use of the emojis or emoticons, they are there at your disposal to do so. If you're in a place where you're driving or you're in motion, please do not take this call. If you have to, make sure that you are using a hands-free device so it doesn't interfere with the call or you do not put yourself in danger. Grab a glass of wine, water, whatever it is that you like to drink and put beside you. Remember, stay hydrated. Next, we'll go to reading the Toastmasters promise. You don't have to unmute, just recite to yourself as I recite from my screen. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits that Toastmasters membership offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters educational and recognition programs, to act within Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. So help me God. Next, we'll just read the Pecten mission. As members of Pecten Toastmasters Club, I promise to join hands to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every club member has the opportunity to develop oral communication and leadership skills, which in turn fosters self-confidence and personal growth. I hope this is not just only words to you, but as members of the club, I'm hoping that you're able to, together with the leadership, fight to make sure that this mission is accomplished. Thank you. And without further ado, I'll hand over to the president of the club to give her opening remarks. Over to you, Toastmaster Eseogene Okereka.
Thank you, and hello, everyone. Please confirm you can hear and see me clearly. Good evening. Perfect. Welcome, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to Pecten Toastmasters Club, and it's delightful to have you all join us in today's meeting. I'm Toastmaster SC, and I am the president of Pecten Toastmasters Club. It's February, the season of love, and we have an amazing session planned for you today where we ask, how do you love? I'd like everyone who's on the call right now to think about it. If you had to choose one word to describe how you show your love, what would it be? How do you love? If you had to choose one word to show how you love, what would that be? Just think about it. Think about it. You can share on the chat box, please. How do you love? How do you love? How do you love? If you had to show love to someone, what would that be? If I just need to see one or two responses. If you had to choose how to show generosity, I'm an Igbo man, our Toastmaster of the day. Well, let's hope you're going to show us a lot of love today and be generous with not just your time. And also, oh, it's not assume. How do you love? I need one more response. It's by giving. Thank you, Richmond. Richmond shows love by giving. Who else would like to share with us how they show love? If you have to love someone and you had to think of one word that encapsulates what that means for you, what would that be? Service, thank you, Arlene. Olem, thank you by being kind. Lovely. I love these responses because they show that when you have to show love to people, it can manifest in a myriad of ways, right? You do not need to think that there's just one specific way of showing love. One of my favorite things about love, please can we all mute our mic if we're not speaking so we reduce any blowback that might be occurring, just to do a run through. Okay. And yes, one of my favorite quotes from love, it's from the religious holy book, the Bible, and it's First Corinthians. And it says, love is patient, love is kind, it is not boastful, and it is a quote I really love because I had first seen it during one of my favorite jewelry store adverts, Tiffany and Co. I didn't even know it was from the Bible. I just thought it was poetry. And imagine the amazing surprise when I hear it being read again somewhere else. And I'm like, wait, I know this quote. I love this quote. And they're like, yeah, it's from the Bible. And it was just an amazing circle of life and maybe a beautiful way to show how love can manifest. You might learn to love in one way and see it show out in another way. In our meeting today for the month of February too, just like how for some people love means sacrifice, love means being generous, love means being giftful, I'd like all of us to carry in our minds the memory that love is kind, love is patient. So, in anything we're doing, be it how we are showing how we love someone, in how we expect people to love us, let's hold these tenets from the book of Corinthians in our mind too, by extending grace and kindness, by being generous, by being patient in anything we do, in how we accept love and in how we give love. I am delighted to welcome you who are joining us today. In any way you're going to be participating in this meeting. In fact, being present in this meeting today is you showing love. And it's not just love for Pecten Toastmasters Club, it's also a love for yourself, your willingness to commit to working on your communication and leadership skills. And I think I, on behalf of the entire Pecten family, also love you because we are all here and happy to have you join us today. Thank you, everyone. I am Toastmaster Essay, and I know that today we are going to be showing you love in a spectacular way. Thank you for joining us, and I'd now like to welcome on our stage our Toastmaster of the Day. For the introduction of our Toastmaster of the Day, as his bio comes up, our Toastmaster of the Day. Okay, sorry, please confirm you can still hear me. I think there seems to be a delay. Oh, excellent. Thank you so much. Madam Zoom Master, if we can have the bio of our Toastmaster of the Day come up. And perfect. Our Toastmaster of the Day today is, yes, we can see it. Thank you. Our Toastmaster of the Day today is Toastmaster Eliezer Aja. He works in learning and development, and he's currently on the dynamic leadership pathway. He's a member of Pecten Toastmasters Club, and we're very delighted to have him be part of us. His hobbies include traveling, dominating with double G's in FIFA, inebriation, and talking. And his favorite quote is, be curious, not judgmental. Please, Toastmasters and guests, we can either unmute our mic or use the chat box. Join me as I welcome on the virtual lectern our Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Ezra.
Thank you very much, the President, and welcome, my esteemed Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and cherished members of this very vibrant Pecten family. It's really good to have everybody here. So this evening, it marks a very, very special occasion, because we're gathering for our very first meeting of February, a month that brims with promise, with passion, and as our president just said, with love. As your Toastmaster of the Day, it's both an honor and a privilege to guide us through this evening's exploration, where we're going to explore, the theme of the night of the evening. Now, our theme is not merely a topic to be discussed in person, especially for someone like me who has been brought on DSTV to talk about love, but that's just for me. But it's supposed to be a beacon that beacons us to go on this very, very introspective journey. The question is, how do you love? It's a question that transcends boundaries of time and space and invites us to ponder from the deepest parts of our hearts and from the deepest parts of our souls. I'm going to requote what we have from the amazing Laverne Cox. By doing the work to love ourselves more, I believe we will love each other better. And so let us heed this call to action and embrace the very transformative power of self-love as the foundation upon which we build our relationship with others. Let's also explore this question of how do you love and understand how we can love every other person. Throughout the course of this evening, we're going to navigate through our different speeches, evaluations, impromptu speaking challenges, etc., etc. Each one is stepping stone on our journey of our personal and professional growth and in exploring the question, how do you love? So my fellow adventurers, let's raise our virtual glasses, let's pay attention, let's listen, and most importantly, enjoy this experience together. And to begin today's session, I want to invite our general evaluator for the day. Our general evaluator for today is Nsikak Intia. He's an occupational health physician and is currently on the dynamic leadership pathway. He's also the charter president of the Pecten Toastmasters Club. His hobbies, which one of them is similar to mine, is traveling and golf. And his favorite quote is this: kindness, quite simply, is the rent we must pay for the space we occupy on this planet, by Robin Sharma. So please, can we clap with our mics muted or muted for our amazing general evaluator, Nsika Kentia?
Thank you so very much, Toastmaster of the Day. I literally didn't recognize myself when you spoke about me in that way, but thank you so very much. And indeed, welcome everyone to the first meeting in February, and indeed, a month of love, where we're going to discover how we love. I'll segue straight into my initial task for the day, which is to introduce a team of evaluators, a team of performers who are going to lead us through this meeting today. And I'm just going to go straight to the grammarian, first of all. Our grammarian for today is a scientist, a creativity enthusiast, and enjoyment baby girl. Her profile is a strategic leadership pathway, and she was current president of Pecten Toastmasters Club. She loves reading, eating free, delicious food, emphasis on free, and exploring creative works. Her favorite quote is, examine the labels you apply to yourself, because every label is a boundary or limit you let yourself cross, by Wayne Dyer. Without further ado, I'm going to say, hand over the opportunity to Toastmaster Eselgene Okereka.
Thank you, everyone, and welcome. Today, I'll be serving as a grammarian, and my role is to listen for both proper and improper usage of grammar. I'll pay attention to impressive usage of quotes, phrases, and words that capture my attention and brilliantly show good grammar. In addition, I would also be listening for our usage of the word of the day. I would pay attention to how well we use it. And the word of the day is fond. And fond can mean to have a great liking for or to like something or someone. Common synonyms are enamored, keen. A popular example, babies are fond of playing. Another examples, Nigerians are fond of money. I'd also like a fun creative twist in today's meeting by encouraging all of us that when we hear someone use the word of the day, we should just celebrate them by animating our hands toss or snapping our fingers toss. You don't need to unmute your mic. So once you hear someone use the word fond, cheer them on by showing your hands. I would listen to all those who show great flair of grammar. And at the end of the day, I would show my fondness for all of you by coming back to share my report on how well we use the word of the day. Thank you, and it's back to you, our general evaluator.
Thank you ever so much, Toastmaster Eselgene Okereka. I am really fond of just hearing you speak. And without further ado, I'm going to move then straight away to our counter of the day. Our counter of the day, even before her profile comes up, is one of the most erudite speakers that Pecten Toastmasters can boast of having. I haven't had her slide up, but I know that she absolutely is a data analyst, loves the good life, loves the soft life, loves to have fun, and loves to travel. May I just indeed hand over this virtual lecture to Toastmaster Ekuchi Joy James.
You can hear me?
Toastmaster Ekuchi Joy James? We can
Yes,
hear you now.
Yes, apologies. I'm having some tech issues. I'll be joining with Toastmaster Toby's. Today, as the accountant, my role is to make sure that I take note of all the pause fillers or clutch words that are used while giving speeches. Words like all these things, they don't make your speeches or your introductions look cute. We want to make sure that you sound like a professional. So get rid of those clutches, right? My other role would be to test our listening skills. I would be asking for who said what, and we'll just respond to make sure that we're not just here in body, but we're also here in mind. And at the end of the meeting, I'll be called back by the general evaluator to give my report. And it's over to you, Mr. GE.
Thank you ever so much. I told you, one of the best Pecten can boast of. Thank you, Toastmaster Ekuchi Joy James. Now, without further ado, we will move to the third in the trio. Our timer for the day is Toastmaster Ebube Mordi. I hand over this virtual lectern to Toastmaster Ebube Mordi, who will be our timer of the day. Toastmaster Ebube, over to you.
Good evening, General Evaluator, and thank you for the very warm introduction. My name is Toastmaster Modijuel Ebube, and I'll be the timer for today's meeting. Today, we have 3 categories of speeches, and my job here is to ensure that we keep the time. For the prepared speech segment, we're expected to speak for a duration of 5 to 7 minutes. If it gets to 5 minutes, I'm going to share my screen with the green card. And when it gets to 6 minutes, I also share my screen with the yellow card. When it gets to 7 minutes, I also share my screen with the red card. And if you fall due of your time, a grace of 30 seconds will be given to you to finalize your speech and then hand over control to the Toastmaster of the day. We also have the table topic segment and the evaluation segment. For the table topic segment, we are expected to speak for a minimum of 1 minute to a maximum of 2 minutes. And when it gets to 1 minute, I'm going to be sharing my screen with the green card. When it gets to 1 minute, 30 seconds, I'm also going to be sharing my screen with the yellow card. When it gets to 2 minutes, I will be sharing my screen with the red card. Also, a grace of 30 seconds will be given to you before due of your time. And the final people segment is the evaluation segment. You are expected to deliver your evaluations within 2 to 3 minutes. If it gets to 2 minutes, I will share my green card. 2 minutes, 30 seconds, I would share my yellow card. 3 minutes, I share my red card. And I like to encourage us to be fond of keeping to time so we can arrive early. As I would like to, I request the Sergeant at Arms to kindly enable my screen so I can be able to share my screen for my timer duties. Thank you so much, and back to you, the General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ebube Modi. A round of applause for the gentleman. I think it is safe to say that Toastmaster Ebube Modi is fond of giving out cards. And I think he loves the red card more than any other card in the context. So, hey, give it up for Toastmaster Ebube Modi, as indeed the third and certainly not the least of the tag team is introduced. So at this juncture, I'm going to yield the virtual lecture back to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Eliezer Aja. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Please, thank you so much, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Sikak. I'm also quite fond of how you pronounce the Aja. There's so much oomph there, which I am quite fond of. I just said fond 3 times, so please, whoever is counting that, not 3 times, 4 times now. Right. Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Now, this evening, we have the unique privilege of being led through a journey of quick thinking and eloquence by none other than TM Tosin. And so can I see the bio of TM Tosin? Okay. All right. So or I'll just let TM Tosin to come up and handle the table topic. So the table topics master for today is TM Tosin, and TM Tosin will be handling table topics for us.
Yes, TMOD, apologies. I think I boasted too quickly at the beginning of the meeting. So my villagers were like, nah, we're still gonna get you. So my system is rebooting. Please go ahead and call on TM Tosin. Apologies that his bio can't be displayed at this time.
All right. Okay. So TM Tosin, please, the virtual lectern is yours as you handle the table topics today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. And thank you, Pecten, for the opportunity. I feel like I'm in the midst of friends, so I don't think I need any introduction. Thank you very much. So we are about to start the table topic segment. And when the Toastmaster of the day was opening the meeting at the beginning, I could tell how passionate he was about love. And one of the things he said that I love was we can see this as an opportunity to reflect. I'm simply hoping that we can see the questions as an opportunity to reflect on our thoughts on love, what we think about love, and how we choose to express love. So I have two sets of questions today. I have one set of quotes, and I have a set of random questions, which are just meant to push us to think. If you choose a quote, I'll simply read the quote, and then you can go ahead to tell us what you think about it. And if you choose a question, you can simply answer the question. There are no right or wrong answers, so do not be scared to step forth and give this a shot. I'm sure we'll have a wonderful time. So, who will bell the cat? First volunteer, please. You can simply unmute yourself to indicate you'd like to speak or raise a hand. There are a lot of people fond of answering table topics questions here in the meeting. So if no one volunteers, I might just ask one of you to help. All right. Toastmaster Uche, are you able to take a question?
Why do you have? I'm just joining, but no problem. Let me take one.
It's an impromptu question, so you're not meant to be prepared.
Yeah, no, that's not the problem. Please, let's go ahead. So, what do I have to pick a number, or what's the?
Okay, so first, do you want a quote or a question? We have 6 questions. We have 5 quotes.
Yes. Okay, so I'll do a question.
All right, so 1 to 6.
I'll do 5.
Number 5. Toastmaster Uche, the question is a very straightforward one. What does love mean to you? What does love mean to you?
Thank you very much, the table topics master of the day. What does love mean to me? That's a tricky question to answer, but I'll give it a shot. While I was a student, I had always dreamed of a time where I would have a beautiful family, which would comprise of a wife and 3 children. That the thing I had was that when it gets to that time, I would give them my whole heart. At that time, what I thought love was just waking up in the morning, cuddling with your wife and children, and that's what it was. Well, ladies and gentlemen, to me, love means that despite all that happens or whatever is happening, you are able to bring out your best self at that time. There's a picture that, encapsulates love to me. And that picture, a meme that I've seen, are 2 old people sitting down on a bench. And you may have seen it, sitting down on a bench, and there's rainfall. However, the man had, he has an umbrella, but he moved it, even though his face was frowning, he moved it away from himself to cover his wife. That picture or that meme shows that even though those people they had loggerheads, the husband and the wife probably, it still showed that the man, in spite of all of that, was still able to go out of his way and out of himself to help his wife. To me, love means to be able to take a step out of yourself, out of your comfort, and give somebody 100%, somebody else 100%, no matter situation. So, ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters guests, I would say to you that to me, love is giving your best self at whatever time, no matter the situation. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Tosin.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Uche. That was a very wonderful opinion. I don't know if you've considered a career in marriage counseling, but it sounds like something you might be able to do. So who would like to take the next question? We can see how easy Toastmaster Uche made that look. I promise you the other questions are easier. Pecten, I said you were my friends. Please don't fall my hand. Please and please. Thank you. Toastmaster Olem, you are the next familiar face I know. And I can see you're evaluating a speech, but please do us
So
the
I
honor.
thought you were looking for a guest, and that's why I was laughing because usually guests won't speak up until you call them to come to the podium.
I'm hoping the guests are still getting warmed up.
All right. So what's up for me to pick?
All right, quotes or questions. You have 5 questions and 5 quotes.
A quote.
A quote, okay, 1 to 5.
These numbers. Let's do 4.
4. Love is being stupid together. Love is being stupid together. A quote by Paul Valery. What are your thoughts?
Love is being stupid together. I think that's very relatable. Why I say so is because more than half the time, when you fall in love, you tend to think more, if it were possible, with your heart rather than your head. And so the things that would typically make sense or be logical or rational to other people become irrational because you go out of your way to do really ridiculous things. I would share a story. I think in my life's journey, I've done some really stupid things for love. I remember once getting on a trip by 8 p.m. in the evening on a bike. If you're very familiar with River State, I go on a bike from Elele to Omoko by 8 p.m. just because I wanted to see the love of my life at the time. Now, the question was, I could have come back home because I was coming all the way from school. I could have come back home, spent the night, and then made that journey the following day. But the thought of just spending the night without him made me just think, why wait an extra night? And so I would say it stupidly got on the bike and got all the way to Omoko. It was one of the best trips I made because I had so much fun and it was worth it. However, in retrospect, when I think about it, I'm like, you could have been kidnapped, raped, killed, anything possible. If you've ever been on that route, it's a very lonely one. And I was on a bike with a man. So anything was possible. But looking back at it, would I say it was worth it? I'll say yes, it was. But then again, love makes us do stupid things. It's back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Olem. Hard girl, where you're climbing bike from Elele to Omok for love. It is well. All right, who would like to go next? I saw someone's camera come on. I think that was, is there a Michael on the call? I think that was the name attached to it. We have a water.
We have a Samuel on the call. We have Keziah. We have
Okay,
Christy.
Samuel. Oh, and Samuel's camera is on, so he's prepared. Samuel, good evening. How you doing?
I'm fine. Good evening.
Good evening. All right. So thank you for not declining the call to take a question. You have a set of quotes. You have a set of questions. Which one would you like?
I like the questions.
All right, so you have questions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Which question would you like?
Question 1.
Question 1. And once again, you have a very straightforward question. What do you consider the greatest act of love? What do you consider the greatest act of love?
Okay, I'd like to ask for clarification. Do you mean generally speaking or from experience or?
Generally speaking, it's up to you. You can answer it however you choose.
For me, the greatest act of love is sacrifice. And I believe in a sacrifice is because of the experiences I had as a child. I had as a young boy from my home. My fondest memories as a small boy was with my family, my mom, and most especially my sisters. So then in my house, as a young boy then, they always ask this question of what should we cook and what should we make for dinner, right? And favorite food then, for those of us from the West. And unfortunately for my dad, it's not one of his favorite food. And I was like the only one in my family who really enjoyed this particular delicacy. So most times when they ask me at home that as a young boy then, like that's what are you going to eat? I would always tell them amala. And even though every other person doesn't really like the food because of me, we'll just sacrifice and say, okay, let's make amala. And practically every other day in the house, because of me, everybody will have to eat amala. And even till now, when I look back to those memories, I think about it and I say like, I have this fond memory of my family making the sacrifice for me. No matter how it might look very tiny, might look very minute, but it's one of the most fondest memories that I've ever seen. It's the greatest thing about love is sacrifice. Personally. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guest Samuel. That was wonderful. I could see Toastmaster SA beaming throughout, and I could not tell if she was impressed with sacrifice or if she was impressed about food. But whichever it is, we're happy to see you smiling. All right, who would take the next question? We have room for one more question. So who would like to take it? Okay, Toastmaster Wede.
Hi.
Good evening. Okay, Ireju. Ireju will come back to you. So please let's have Wede first, and then we'll come back to you. We'll make room for you as well.
Hi, good evening.
Yes, Wede. Good evening. All right. So you have questions, you have quotes. Which would you like?
Questions and quotes. Questions or quotes, rather. I
Yeah.
think let me go with quotes.
Quotes. Okay. So you have quotes. You have 5 quotes. That's numbers 1 to 5, and number 3 has been taken. Which would you like? Sorry, number 4 has been taken. Which would you like?
Let me take number 1 then.
Number 1. Love is blind. Geoffrey Chaucer. Love is blind. Geoffrey Chaucer.
Interesting. Love is blind. Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. Yes, I think that love is blind because somehow it makes you ignore the faults in people. Now I'm speaking of love not from an agape standpoint. You know, they say that we have different kind of love. This different way you express love. I'm talking about a romantic love, the one that exists between two lovers, two partners. So sometimes we meet people and we tend to realize that they have shortcomings, and we tend to realize that there are things that might not be so cool with them. But despite all of those things, we tend to overlook or turn a blind eye to them. Why? Because of the emotion, love. So it's very popular for people to tell you that when you are loving, love with your heart, but also go with your head. Because if you don't go with your head, then you might just get your finger burned. So I would totally agree, and I totally relate with the quote that says love is blind, because truly I think that it is blind. But like I've said, there has to be a caveat when you are loving. Ensure that you do not just go with your heart, but you go with your head. Thank you, and over to you, the top master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Wede, for dropping those words of wisdom. You've heard, though, don't say we did not warn you. Love with your head, not just your heart. All right. So, you, Rachel, would you like to go now? Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes.
Good evening.
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening.
All right. So, would you like a quote? Would you like a question?
I think I'll do a question.
All right. So, you have questions 2, 3, and 6. 2, 3, 4, and 6,
Okay.
actually.
Let me do 2.
Question 2. All right. I actually like your question. Do you think it's possible to love others as much as we love ourselves? Do you think it's possible to love others as much as we love ourselves? Over to you.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Do I think it is possible to love others as much as we love ourselves? I don't think so. Because I think, in my opinion, human nature is a bit kind of selfish, because we tend to love ourselves a bit more than we love ourselves. Maybe we may love others 95% or 98% as much as we love ourselves, but we may not be able to love ourselves. And the nearest to that would be in a motherly love, the love of a mother to a child. A mother will be able to literally give up her life for a child. But as we see, when a mother loses her child, she doesn't jump into the grave with her child, but she loves her child as much as she can. So in my opinion, I don't think we'll be able to love ourselves as much as maybe 98% of the love we give to ourselves, we can give to others, because we cannot give our life for others. We can maybe give a kidney, a liver, part of a heart for a loved one or a child or a sibling, but we'll never be able to give our lives. We're not Jesus Christ. We won't be able to give our lives. No matter how fond we are of them, we will not be able to give our life. So in my opinion, we may love them to the best ability we can, but we will not be able to love them exactly the way or almost the way we love ourselves. Thank you, and it's over to you, Toastmaster Tosin.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ireju. Thank you for your candidness. Some people would have lied that they love other people more than they love themselves. But that's not you. So we've been left with some wonderful lessons today. Toastmaster Uche, who taught us that love is not just about the rosiness, but also stepping out of ourselves to sacrifice for others. Toastmaster Olem, the lover girl, who told us that it's possible to do stupid things in the name of love. Then we had guest Samuel, who told us about how he bullied his family to repeatedly eat amala, and they were gracious enough to make that sacrifice because they loved him. We had Toastmaster Werde, who thinks love is blind, and then left us with the great advice: love with your head and not just your heart. And finally, we had guest Ireju, who told us we can't love others as much as we love ourselves, but we could come close. Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful session. And at this point, I'd like to hand over the lectern to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much. Please, can we all still clap for these table topics? They were well delivered, well moderated by the amazing table topic master, Toastmaster Tosin. And it's really glad for all of us to be here. I'm quite fond of the previous session. I think I'm just saying fond now, anyhow. I'm not putting it properly, but I think it still counts, because at the end of the day, this is a safe space, and I'm fond of safe spaces. So next on our agenda is the manual speech session, the prepared speech sessions, where we're going to have our TMs in their different learning paths come and talk about certain topics, and it's going to be handled, which we're going to have evaluators for. So our first speaker is TM Toby Akinmolua, who's going to be talking about when you see rats, don't think rat come, and the evaluator is TM Olum Orene.
I can't hear him again. Can you hear?
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can, if the evaluator Toastmaster Olem could come on stage to introduce Toastmaster Toby.
So TM Olem, over to you. TM Olem, your mic is muted, just in case.
Toastmaster Olem, can you hear us, please?
Yes, I can hear you now. Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests, and welcome again to today's meeting. I will be evaluating Toastmaster Toby's speech that she's titled, When You Think Rats, Don't Think Rat Gum. The purpose of this speech is for her to practice applying feedback given to her from a previous speech. And from the evaluation form that I got, Toastmaster Toby is expected to practice using not more than 3 data figures. So in the last speech, she gave statistics and it was a lot. So the feedback that was given was she shouldn't do more than 3 to 5 figures so people can actually remember and take things home. The second bit is to remember to keep a straight face, or at least just chuckle, and maintain her composure when she's sharing humor or giving a punchline. Toastmaster Toby was also challenged to try to use visual aids to help her buttress the point home and to make sure that she defines terms that she uses very clearly so everybody on the call gets what she's saying rather than assume that people know. Toastmaster Toby, this is going to be her final speech in level 1. And so I look forward to you breaking the leg on this one and progressing onto your level 2. Thank you. And it's back to you, Toastmaster Rudley.
Toastmaster Toby, the leg 10 is yours.
Oh, my apologies for the delay. I was having a little bit of network issue, but can you see me and hear me?
Yes, we
Loud and
Can
can.
you
clear.
also see my screen? All right. So I love rats. Don't judge me yet. You come to see why. You know, not until 5 years ago, I used to detest these adorable little creatures. My dislike for them stemmed from perpetual torment and torture we faced at their hands as a family of 4, living on the ground floor of a block of flats in rural Lagos. These shoe-eating, bread-snatching, audacious rodents showed us pepper, and I hated them for it. However, a few years ago, I fell completely in love. Although it was love after 1,000 sights, but I fell anyway. I had just watched a rat eat, and it was an absolutely beautiful sight to behold. It was too cute. The moment quickly reminded me of a senior colleague back in uni who had over 1,000 photos of rats on his mobile phone. Back then, I could never understand why. The obsession, I could never understand the love, the obsession, or passion he had for collecting quirky photos until the moment I saw a rat eat. Did you know that rats exist in over 60 species? According to an article written by Jennifer Gang, published by A2ZAnimals.com. Also, there are about 7 billion rats in the world. That's nearly 1 rat to a person. So when you can obtain a rat when you see one run by, there's enough to go around. Now, we are sure that there will never be scarcity of rats. But if they ever did go extinct, humans will face famine. Rats play a big role in our existence and evolution as humans. It's ironical, right? Because what can those little opportunistic eaters possibly offer? What exactly do they bring to the table? Well, spanning from medicine to psychology to behavioral patterns and genetics, rats have been instrumental. They have been instrumental in developing treatments. They have been used to study behavior, cognition, and memory, giving valuable insights into human psychology. Before I forget to mention, rats are highly intelligent. In fact, humans are almost not a match for the level of their intelligence. According to Quality Cage, in a publication titled How Smart Are Rats, they reveal that the average rate of a rat's IQ stands at 105. Apparently, this is only a little part of what forms my admiration for rats. The most centers around their character traits. And here are a few things you can learn from rats. They are social creatures and they enjoy companionship. They also possess problem-solving abilities, which is why they can navigate complex environments to find food and shelter. Lastly, and ironically, rats are clean. They spend a significant amount of time grooming themselves and each other to maintain hygiene. I've grown so fond of rats that if you placed a rat side by side money, I guess I'll choose a rat. According to Henry Miller, rats are the perfect embodiment of a perfect world. So next time you see a rat, don't think rat gone, think famine. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmasters of the day. Toastmaster of the day.
Okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Toby and TM Olem. And I don't think I'm quite fond of rats after this presentation, but I think I can consider the fondness. Maybe if the second person is also speaking about rats, I think it would eventually make us fond of rats. Thank you so much, TM Toby. Excellent. Now, the second speaker for this round will be attempting the effective coaching level 1 and project 2. And to evaluate this speech, we have evaluator TM Uche Anna Baronye. TM Uche, I request you to please read out the speech objectives for TM Folusho.
Thank you very much. Toastmaster Folu, as we generally call her, we're delivering a level 1 speech, which is the second project in the effective coaching pathway. The purpose of this project is for Toastmaster Folu to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback in a second speech. Her speech can be humorous, informational, or any style of her choosing. She has titled this one, Hit the Space Bar, and I'm really curious to see where this will take us to. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day, for a formal introduction of Toastmaster Folu.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Uche. The Zoom Master, can I have Toastmaster Folu's bio? Or okay, Toastmaster Folu, over to you. Okay, okay? It's coming. Sorry. All right. So Toastmaster Folu is going to be talking about hit the space bar, and like was introduced by her evaluator, it's in the effective coaching pathway level 1, project 2. You have 5 to 7 minutes. The virtual lectern is yours, Toastmaster Folu.
Tell me, what's your favorite key on the computer keyboard? I'd like to see your responses in the chat box. Go ahead. Don't be shy. Your favorite key on the computer. So keep it coming. Keep it coming. Lovely, lovely. That's a smart one. I see spacebar and all sorts. Enter. Great. So you guessed right. One of my favorite keys is the spacebar. Notice its shape, its size, and its choice location. There is hardly any write-up that would not require you hitting the spacebar. Even letters and words require space. Why not humans? Why not you? Fellow Toastmasters and guests, greetings. It was Sarah Allen who said, every life needs a little space because it leaves room for the good to enter. As humans, we sometimes crave control, stability, uncertainty, but we cannot always be in control. Neither can we always stabilize everything. And uncertainty looms periodically. Have you ever wondered, why do keyboards even have keys such as control, shift, and what have you? I mean, who are we controlling and what is shifting? Who is shifting to where? But guess what? While we cannot control, stabilize, and make everything certain, we can create space. We can create space to think, to decide, to do, to be unapologetically, and to become. We all need space to grow into our truest selves. Let me take you down memory lane. I'm sure all of us here, irrespective of the sort of primary school you went to, you must have had some kind of assembly. Now picture a typical primary school assembly where you have a head teacher or some teacher in charge of organizing that with a thunderous voice and a cane way taller than the oldest or the tallest child in that primary school. And then she comes, hands on your neighbor's shoulders placed, or something like that. And everybody does that. Now, that right there is a human space bar. Do you remember, or did you encounter that classmate who will always want to be the rebel? Now, the head teacher has said everyone put their hands on their shoulders, but there is that one child who would rather not do that and who would rather come this close to you. Now, that feeling was always awkward. I have a feeling you felt the same way. It was Alex Moonfay that said, the soul needs more space than the body. So while you are busy putting your hands on your neighbor's shoulders, the body, remember, your soul needs more space than the body because your soul needs space to nourish itself. Now in 2023, I had quite a packed year. Nice year, I must say, but quite packed. By Q4, I knew that my tank was almost empty. I had to go refill my tank. And so I decided to go on a personal retreat. Now, hold on before you start imagining me on a pristine beach with sunglasses and the others. You know what happens on the beaches. Not at all. I mean, I would have liked to go on such an exotic trip, but I didn't get to. So it was a local personal retreat, but it was so good. Now, I had to create space to enjoy my own company. I had to step away from the noise, the hustle, the bustle, and everything. I needed space to draw from the well of me, to dig and excavate the deposits that lie within, and then to emerge with renewed vigor. And that exactly was what I did. Now, if you are interested in my blueprint, meet me in camera for a fee. It was Marilyn Monroe who said, I restore myself when I am alone. I mean, who would think Marilyn Monroe, such a boisterous lady, actually had her alone time? Yes, she had to. And she said, that was how she restored herself. Mind you, being alone and being lonely are two different things, but that is a topic for another seminar, not today. As we morph, as we evolve, as we grow, seasons change. And as all of that is changing, so do our needs. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, as you evolve, I need you to know when to retreat and when to come up for air. when to zoom in and when to zoom out, when to lean in and when to lean out. Sometimes you need the space on your inside, other times you need it externally. And then again, it just might be a geographic space you need to get the clarity that you seek. You may not be fond of the space bar like myself and Toastmaster Eliezer, but irrespective of your proclivities and your personalities, you will agree with me that we all could use some healthy space for our relationships to blossom. Think about the crops. Just like the crops, when they are planted, they require some space to grow. The roots need to deepen. They need to embrace the soil. The shoots need to step up and enjoy and experience and spread their wings, and the branches experience life above the soil. Think about the letters. Think about the words. They all need some space. Think about the strands of hair on your head. No matter how full a head of hair you have, no matter how luxuriant, surely there is some space between those two strands. Words represent an entity just like you. Remember, you are an entity. And for words to stand as an entity and make sense, they need some space. So sometimes we need to step away from the island to truly see the island. Like a drone, I love photography and I love pictures taken with drones. Like a drone that sees the bird's eye view, getting some space gives you that full picture. Toastmasters and guests, in this season of love, one way to show yourself love and others around you, you guessed right, will be to hit the space bar. And it's back to you, Toastmaster Eliezer.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Fulu, for that excellent prepared speech. I'm very sure that we're all going to reevaluate our relationships and ask our significant others for some space, so that we can enjoy that properly. Thank you so much. And our final speaker for this round will be attempting level 3, elective 2 from the presentation mastery pathway. To evaluate this speech, we have Toastmaster S.L. Ogene, TMSA. Can you please read out the speech objectives for the TM?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ezra, Toastmaster of the Day. And hello, everyone. Today, our speaker, Toastmaster Ebube, would be speaking on Presentation Mastery Level 3 project. And the objective of this project is for Toastmaster Ebube to introduce or review how to use basic presentation software strategies that would involve creating and using slides to support or enhance his speech. Toastmaster Ebube's speech is aptly titled Launching Your Venture. Toastmaster Ebube, I'm trying to see your face just to confirm you're here on the call. I know you were. Can we see him, please? Okay, perfect. So back to you, Toastmaster. Yes, I can see him now. Just want to spotlight you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Essay. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, please put your hands together for Toastmaster Ebube Mordi. Toastmaster Ebube, the virtual lectern is yours.
Have we ever paused for a second and asked yourself this question? How was I able to do this? How was I able to come through for myself? Sometimes we don't have answers to these questions, but yet we were able to fix that problem. 2024 has come with a lot of harsh realities, economic realities. Companies are downsizing. A lot of people that we know are losing their jobs. Dollar rate is rising every day. If we wake up tomorrow, we are definitely going to hear that the dollar rate is a step higher or is a step lower. And sometimes we are real victims. We are victims of these harsh realities. But then it's also a time for us to create interventions and see ways to explore avenues to survive. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Surviving in these harsh realities sometimes may require that we stretch our minds. It may require that we go beyond the conventional ways to create strategies, to create structures that can help us influence the society and also, in return, help us achieve our long-term goals. Some of the thriving economies, some of the thriving organizations today were also founded when there were economic recessions, where there were economic downtimes. Yet they were able to conceive the idea, and they didn't only stop at the idea, they were able to take action and they launched their ventures. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the key things to note before you are able to launch your venture. And I've been able to note 3 things that are very important and critical to help you launch your venture and be able to penetrate the market effortlessly and better. The first aspect of it is to understand your market. I see understanding your market as the most important and critical element if you want to launch your venture. Because I have seen a lot of people using different business cases that are meant for different economies and societies to want to infuse it into an economy, forgetting that there are peculiarities in the market. Thereby, they end up wasting their time and also end up wasting their revenues. Also, most people jump into business. They don't ask themselves some thought-provoking questions. What are the interventions I'm bringing to the market? What are the solutions I'm bringing to the market? How is this solution going to help the average person who are your target audience? Also, some people go into business without any legal structure or compliance. And then at the end of the day, when the business begins to generate revenue or make profits, some of these agencies begin to come for them. And then they begin to feel that these people are witch hunting us. For understanding your market, I was able to note some key points that I'd like to share with us. First, for you to launch a business, you need to first understand and identify your customer needs and preferences. Customer needs based on regions have their own peculiarities. And also, we need to create effective positioning and differentiation. So doing the copy and paste approach, which most Nigerians do, when they see that a business is thriving in a particular country, they will copy that same model and bring it into the country without first not wanting to understand the market dynamics of the country which they intend to bring that business into. I'm going to use an illustration or a use case of Facebook. Facebook is running a global organization, and their peculiarities in different countries or the approach for different countries are different. If you run advertising on Facebook, you will notice that Facebook created a model for people who are in Nigeria, who would like to pay with their Naira card. Why? Because they understand the peculiarity of the Nigerian market. So they were able to make provisions for people to pay for their advertising, getting to use their Naira card to make payments. So it's also going to help us when we intend to start our business to be able to look into our own, the exact market which we want to penetrate, to first understand the peculiarity of the audience we're going to meet in the market, and then create tailored interventions based on those peculiarities in that particular market, so that when they see your product, they are going to be easily relatable to them. Also, when we understand our market, is going to help us in facilitating risk management, which means that all the excess time that has been wasted, that is going to be wasted without you getting to understand the product or the peculiarity of the audience, is all going to be resolved. Also, developing a business plan is also a very critical and important aspect that every business that wants to scale should have. Now, the first thing in business plan, which most people overlook sometimes, I think is the business name. Because with your business name, you can be able to know if your business name is going to be limited to a specific product or you are going to leave your business name open. Some people get to open a fashion business and then they name it in line or in accordance with their fashion venture. For example, Ebube and Sons Fashion Nigeria Limited. Setting up that kind of a name is already going to limit me from going to explore other market options. Let's say I want to diversify my product. Also, there are also legal structures and compliance. There are also marketing and market penetration as well. And also there are legal structures. One thing I've understood about the Nigerian market is that it is always good when you conceive an idea to go and register that company with the Corporate Affairs Commission of Nigeria, CAC. Yes, you may not start the business immediately, but then just register it, secure that particular name. Because in the future, when you feel that you have gathered a lot of financial capacity to want to go and register that name might not be available. So you go through the legal structure, try to register your company name, try to set up your tax, and also try to get all the necessary licenses and permits. And if you're able to do this, if you're able to do this, there are a lot of benefits to you to launching your own venture. First, you will have personal satisfaction and fulfillment. First, the joy that you are creating a solution, the joy that you are solving problems in the market is already going to give you that joy and satisfaction to help you even want to explore other avenues in the markets to grow your business. Also, there are financial rewards and also the autonomy and control when you're able to have your own time. In conclusion, I'd like us to remember that most businesses, some of the businesses that are thriving today, they came up from harsh economic realities. Yes, we understand that 2024 is harsh. If you have conceived a business idea and you feel that you need to have an additional stream of income, and if you are currently working and perhaps your take home is not enough for you and you have a strong business idea that you feel that is going to help support your own income, I would encourage you to go launch your venture, set it up, and then keep on growing by the side. According to the words of Mark Zuckerberg, he said that ideas are not completely formed. It is in the process of doing that our offerings keep deepening and we are able to achieve our goal, the Toastmaster of the day.
Please give it up for TM Ebube DK for that wonderful prepared speech. Well, it will be right here, it will be us talking. I think the first thing, probably the last thing that came to my mind was the Latin saying, quis custodiet ipsos custodiet. So as our timekeeper of the day, who was also giving a prepared speech, I wondered who was going to give him the green, the yellow, and the red. Thank you so much. So it's time for us to get familiar with our guests and people that are joining us for the first time today. So anybody by show of hands, if this is your first time of joining a Pecten Toastmaster meeting, you can just raise your hand. You can show us your camera, wave at me. You know, I'm quite fond of newbies when they come, and just briefly, so that better. So anybody? Where's the here? So you can just raise your hands or just indicate before we move on. Is there nobody that's here for the first? Okay, I see DK is here with us for the first time. Okay, so welcome. Who else? Who else is here for the first time? Okay. But I know you've spoken already before now. You've given your talk, you've been our timekeeper, etc., etc. So I don't want to stress you a lot more, but it's great to have you here. I see some other newbies. I see Aja Grace, Keziah Ume, T, etc., etc. You're all welcome. So next, I'm going to invite TM Olem, the amazing TM Olem, to handle our bonding session. TM Olem, the virtual like 10 is yours.
Can't hear you. Please, you're muted.
Please confirm you can hear me now and you can see my screen.
Yes,
Yes,
we can.
we can hear you. We can see your screen.
All right. So I'm going to share a bit of a story. When we put out the flyer for this meeting and it said, "How do you love?" I think I got a lot of feedback, and some people even said, "Are you sure you want to know the answer to this question?" And we're like, yes. So when you come to the meeting, then you tell us that. So very quickly, I would want us to either use our QR scanners, the code scanners, or use the number 515-92311 by going to www.menti.com and just put in that number, or you scan with your scanner. I would know when you're in, just give me a thumbs up. And while we're waiting for people to join and do all of that, I just wanted to set the stage a bit, or set the scene a bit. I'm going to ask a few questions, and please feel free to leave comments in the chat. If you have a very close friend, or maybe a family member that you love so dearly, and they came to you to say they were either hurt, or they lost someone, or they were heartbroken, or something bad happened to them, as a person, what would be your first instinct? What would be your first instinct? Please, let's keep the Menti bit coming in. I think you can even unmute and speak, anyone who is available. Just, you can even unmute and speak. What would be your first instinct?
I'll give them a hug.
Sweet.
If they were with me in person.
Mm.
If they weren't, I'll ask them if they want food, and I'll send them some food, because food always helps.
Awesome stuff. If someone were going through a really rough patch, Joy has said if the person was, of course, inside, she would give them a hug. And if there was a way to get food across to them, because food makes people feel better, she would do that. Any other person wants to share? Like, knowing that someone you care about or you love is in need, or is in trouble, or is hurt, what would you do? What's your first instinct?
There's some responses in the chat box. I could read them out. I don't think you
Please
can
help
see them
read
since
it
you're
out.
sharing.
Go ahead.
Yes. Someone says, I'll say Pele. Toastmaster Essie says, I'll say Pele. Ireju says, give them a hug. Lizzie Solomon says, hugging in person. Toastmaster Essie says, I'll buy them food. Toastmaster Lamina says, hug and listen to them unburden. And Essie also says, send them money.
All right. If someone you knew made a mistake, made a very big mistake, or did something you would call stupid, what would you do? Someone you care about made a mistake, did something really stupid. What would you do eventually with that person? Please feel free to come off mute and answer. And if you're leaving a message in the chat, Joy, please help me read.
All right.
Any responses?
I'd like to respond.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. If someone made a mistake, to be very honest, at first, if it's something I think they should not have made, I'll probably be critical. But however, I would also then be empathetic to try to understand from their position. But if it's a very like blatantly foolish mistake, I'll probably be very critical, drag you, mock you, depending on what I think you need. And then maybe if you're younger, I might now be empathetic enough to say, okay, don't worry, it's a mistake, it's fine. But if it's something that I warned you for before you still did it, I will tell you, good for you. If you like, don't do it next time. Thank you.
All right. So the question I want to now ask is,
There's a response in the chat box. You want
please
me to
go
read
ahead
that?
and read it. Read it.
So Aline says, call the person and teach them the correct thing to do. Emanuela says, I'll pause and ask myself, what would I want others to do? Should I find myself in such a situation? Lizzie says, I'll definitely go closer to listen to the person, know the reasons for the mistake.
Awesome stuff. So now the question I want to pose to everybody on this call is, if you were the person in the shoes of this friend of yours or this family member or whoever it is that you care deeply about, and you were going through a tough time, you made a stupid mistake, you've done something you weren't supposed to do, would you forgive yourself? Would you still love yourself? So my very first question to you today in this session is, how do you love yourself? How do you love yourself? So it's very easy for us to say, you know, I love this person and I love that person this way and I do all of that. But you know, when we think about it, we are really, really bad as a people. We're very bad at looking out for ourselves and loving ourselves. Most of us will sacrifice for family. Most of us will sacrifice for friends. But we are overly self-critical. We are harsh. We don't forgive ourselves for mistakes. So I would like to see your responses come in. How do you love yourself? All right, great. So we see taking time to rest and indulge. Awesome. Someone says eating fried yam. This must be a foodie. But that's great. I mean, it's you taking care of yourself, right? Saying no. This is one great way to hit the space bar. Prioritizing your health and mental well-being. Awesome stuff. Someone said toughly, maybe you would share with us what that means. By not introspecting so I don't become self-critical. Gorging on food and shop for clothes. Awesome. Learning to be compassionate with self. Started this last year, and not being hypercritical. Learning to be compassionate with self. Okay, that's the same. Being intentional about my well-being. Stunting on my haters. Taking in one day at a time, living in the moment. Please, I would like to see more responses come in. By imagining if I was someone else and how I would feel if I was critiqued. Staying healthy physically, spiritually, and mentally. To be quite honest, the list can actually be endless. Going dancing, this is really good. Doing the things I like. And you might be wondering why we're asking this question, because we probably will have a segment where we're asking, how do you love others? Or what's your love language and all of that bit. But just to check that in introspect, you actually look after you. You love yourself, you're kind to yourself, you're empathetic, doing things that I love, drinking Ribena, fried plantain, and listening to good music. I can say who that is, but I'm just going to keep quiet about that. Thanks so much for sharing all of this. And I would just like to add that I don't see it here yet, but for me, being able to set boundaries is something that I do because I love myself. And in building boundaries, it means you have to know yourself and you need to know what's important to you, right? So for you to be able to look after yourself, to avoid being hurt and all of that bit, you do that. Someone said music, making myself happy. These are all really incredible things. And what you take away from here is, it just shows you how, as diverse as we are, we all have different ways to get ourselves to feel better. And that's just it, right? That's just it. There's no one answer that works it. I'm sure there are persons on this call who haven't left anything here. And maybe for some reason, you'll be paying more attention to other people than you have to yourself. So we're going to just go to the next one, and we're going to ask you to commit right here in this meeting. Tell us one new way you would commit to loving yourself going forward. It's all about self-love today. So just leave us a message here and say, this is your commitment, and say, going forward, I'm going to stay authentic to myself. That's the way I would choose to love myself. Going forward, I'm going to be kinder. So when I make mistakes, I would forgive myself. I would not kill myself internally. Good. I now see healthier boundaries coming up, and that's so fantastic. Thanks for sharing. I like that someone has committed to taking care of their mental health, because it's as important as your physical health. Learning to say no and sticking to it. Boundary setting. Prioritizing yourself. You can't fill from an empty cup. Yeah? Spending time with yourself. So that's making out time for yourself. So as the responses keep coming in, I would like to hand over to the Toastmaster of the day. But before I do that, I just want to leave us with this quote. And it's by a writer of the book titled Welcome Home. And it says, his name is Najwa Zibian. It says, love is a power that's inside of you. To give it to someone else should not be to empty yourself of it. You're expected to use it to strengthen yourself, and only then will you have excess love to give out. And that's it. And that's just it. You have to fill yourself and make sure you're filled before you start emptying. You can't fill from an empty cup. All right. So thank you so much for all those who have shared. I love that someone put up hitting the space bar. Great stuff there. Great stuff. Thanks, and it's back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Sam Olem. Don't stop sharing your screen yet. I wanted people to hit the heart emoji on the Menti link, since we're all about love. So can you see the heart emoji? Please just hit it so that it reflects on the screen. Because this has been a lesson in introspection and self-love and in also self-understanding, which we're genuinely grateful for. Thank you so much, TM Olem. Thank you. And thank you so much for everybody that participated in this bonding scenario. And for people that said going dancing, eating plantain, drinking Ribena, we know you. We know you. Now, the next part of our meeting is one of our very important parts of a Toastmaster meeting. In this round, we're going to get constructive feedback given to each of the speaker, as well as to the overall meeting conduct, so that we can all benefit from the experience of our evaluators and become better speakers. For this, we have the general evaluator to conduct the session. I would now like to hand over the microphone, the virtual microphone, to our general evaluator of today, who, as I've established, I'm quite fond of, Toastmaster Isikak. Over to you, Toastmaster Isikak.
Thank you so very much, Toastmaster Eliezer Aja. You have masterfully handled the events of today so well. And thank you for the virtual lecture. At this time, we know that every Toastmasters meeting is a 3-course meal. We are now on to desserts. And in my opinion, I am very fond of desserts because this is where the true learning occurs. Having said that, let's go to take this away. The order of the evaluation segment of this meeting will be thus. I, doubling as Toastmaster evaluator, will go first, and then the speech evaluators will come right after in the order of Toastmaster Olem, Toastmaster Uche, and then Toastmaster Ase. Ase, doubling as grammarian, will then give a grammarian's report. Will then yield the floor to Toastmaster Ekuchi Joy James, ask for the accountant report, and then Toastmaster Ebube Mordi will give the timer's report and yield the floor back to myself for the general evaluation. So without further ado, the table topics evaluation. Now, it is absolutely essential that a table topics master is indeed a master. And today we had Toastmaster Tosin, who every time I see him run any segment of a Toastmasters meeting, he just purrs like a pussycat. It's a totally wonderful experience. And that showed today as well, in the choice of questions, in the contextualization of the love component of today's meeting. And that was excellent in just seeing him render that sort of thing. So that made it very easy for the speakers to come on and render their speech pieces in those 2 minutes that they were allotted. We went from Toastmaster Uche to Toastmaster Olem, and then on to Samuel, to Ireju, to Wede, and it was just that continuum. Now, the key thing about this, that each of these speakers who came on had to respond to a question, and it was important to see how they went on, segued into the matter, and then all gave personal stories. All of them, every single one of them spoke to it with clear examples of personal story or something they encountered or envisaged to buttress their points. It was great to see Toastmaster Samuel, for example, as a guy man, buy more time by asking for clarification, something that was perhaps already obvious to him, just to get his thoughts together and go that. It's a fantastic tool for every Toastmaster coming onto the table topics, and totally something we've done a lot of times in the past. So thank you very much for reminding me about a trick for table topics in the future. And the key thing for me was that the quality of the of the table topics today was of such a level, both in the questions and in the responses, that it was a very table experience for both the audience and indeed the participants, as I saw it today. It was important to see how Toastmaster Uche could come and put together that piece about sacrifice and painting the picture of the two old couples, and even that story to us. It was also very important for Toastmaster Olem to tell us how to love stupidly. And I totally second you, my girl. Next time, take the bike all the way from John Kramer all the way through to Bori. That's how to love stupidly. Toastmaster Samuel Amala, my brother, punished the family for such a long time. Toastmaster, were they about love being blind and whether or not it truly is blind, and how the definitions therein. Toastmaster Ereju, love others as you love themselves, and she says a firm no, that's just not possible in her own context, through her lens. Whatever speaker you went to, you saw a pattern of introduction, you saw a body in their message, and you saw a conclusion. And I like the fact that I think it will confirm that none of them ran over. And it was important to have the message delivered in the time allotted and have that to be put together, put forward. I could hardly pick holes in their rendition. I thought that perhaps Toastmaster Ireju could be more dramatic, perhaps, because it doesn't matter how short your message is, a bit more passion, perhaps, or it's totally required, as it were. It was important. Toastmaster Wendy, I thought you were a bit pedantic a little bit, just in terms of over-describing and over-defining the context of the different types of love before you went back to Eros, which is the type of love you were trying to describe. But whatever way you spin it, it's been a wonderful experience in Table Topic segment. And I personally have thoroughly enjoyed this meeting and that segment of this meeting today. And I'll probably say, keep it up. Well done, guys. Keep going at it and keep delivering of this content. Pecten has really done a brilliant job of raising the bar time after time after time. Well done, everyone. Excellent edition all across the patch. Thank you so very much. Without further ado, I would yield the floor to the first speech evaluator, and that will be Toastmaster Olem, who we very well know is industrial hygienist. We know that she loves stupidly, and we know that she's the current VPPR of the Pecten Toastmasters Club, and she's on the communications pathway. Volleyball, romantic comedies, stupid romantic comedies, and acquiring quirky things are her hobbies, and her mission in life is not to merely survive, but to thrive and do so with some pure passion, humor, and style from Maya Angelou. Toastmaster Olem, the floor, the virtual lectern is completely yours. Take it away, front and center. Back to you, Toastmaster Olem.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tia, for that introduction. So I will just hit the ground running. Toastmaster Toby, I want to say well done. It's been a long race, and for Pectenites on the call, you will understand what I mean. She practically took the baton when we started the speechcraft, and we're culminating here today. So I want to say well done on officially completing your level 1. It's no mean feat. Well done. As it relates to your speech today, you had delivered a well-researched speech on rats previously, and we were expected to look at how you've incorporated feedback from that speech. One of the things that was listed was how you used your statistics, if you use visual aids, and maintaining, composure when you were sharing humor and punchline. I think that you marked and ticked all the boxes right on this. And for that, I would say confidently that you've delivered the purpose of this speech. I love that you gave us data with right references for those who might be interested in doing further research, or better still, doing some deep diving. I also love that you used humor, you infused humor in delivering the speech, as you made the case for over 7 billion rats across the globe. That was fantastic. I thought that was great. What do I think you may want to work on? Your stance as you spoke. So I guess you were seated, and so we couldn't see some parts of your body while you spoke, and your eye contact wasn't direct. Secondly, I would like to say that when you use data and you're using references and you're quoting, try to get more familiar with it. So you want us to believe what you're saying, right? So the more confident you come across, even if you were lying, we will buy it. So that's something you may want to work on. So just get familiar with the lines for your references and your quotes, and you do that. What would I like to challenge you with? I also observed while you spoke that you were a bit nervous. So next time I would say, come on stage, take a deep breath before you roll. because I know and I have seen you give speeches elsewhere. Other than that, I would say it was a fantastic speech. I'm sure a lot of people are going to leave this meeting knowing more about rats. I'm sure more people are going to joke about the fact that we all can own one if we wanted to get one for ourselves. And I loved that you had the courage to come and complete your level 1 pathway. So very well done. And it's back to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you so very much, Toastmaster Olem. The next time I see a rat, I wouldn't rush to try and kill it. I'll probably try and own it. So thank you so very much, Toby, for letting me know. And again, curious fact there about rats being very, very hygienic. I never would have thought that at all in the world of Sundays. Well, as we go on straight away to the second speech evaluation segment, going to be Toastmaster Uche Anabaronye, a problem-solving engineer, Area 23 Program Quality Director, President of Seashell Toastmasters Club, and the pathway he's on currently is the Persuasive Influence Pathway, loves traveling, reading, and discovering new things, and his favorite quote is, all we get is time and choice, and we know what to do with both. Mandy Hale. So, Toastmaster Uche, you know what to do. Over to you.
All right. I'd just like to check that I can see Toastmaster Folu. If she's here, she's still here on the call, I can see her video. That's fine. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much for that fantastic or scintillating speech that you titled Hit the Spacebar. I like how you had a great start. You didn't test your microphone. You didn't ask if you could see or hear you. You just hit the ground running with the question. And I think that's a great way to begin your speech, by engaging your audience very quickly. You also engaged our imagination by saying things about the spacebar, like its shape, its size, its choice location. Humans are very imaginative, and you can hold your audience. And I think you helped me too by talking about it in that manner. I also noticed, Toastmaster Folu, that you added a little bit of humor. I don't know if that was intentionally done, but it was, I could feel it. I heard it when you said it. You talked about, you gave a rhetorical question where you said the keyboard has keys like control, shift, and you said, what are we controlling? What are we shifting? I thought that was a little bit funny. And one of the things that even made it funnier to me was that you did it with a straight face. Humor gets audience relaxed. You know, it helps us to bring down our guard and sort of allows you coming through the front door or the gate or whatever it is. And I love that you do that. I noticed that you littered quotes in your usual manner at different parts of your speech, from Marilyn Monroe and the rest of them. And I think it made your speech sound more authentic, and it made us feel that your speech was well researched and that you took some time to reflect on it before you came in here. I noticed the words of wisdom you gave us, where you said the soul needs more space. You can create space to grow into your truer self. And I think that was really fantastic. What did I like slightly less? There are 4 things, and I'll mention them really quickly. I noticed you use the analogy of putting your hands on your neighbor's shoulder to explain space. I think you could have mimicked or demonstrated that with some body movement, just like you did when you said lean in, lean out, zoom in, zoom out. I also noticed that you tried to mimic the teacher about, when she used her voice to say, put your hands on your neighbor's shoulder. I think you could have changed your voice by imagining that teacher who had a baritone or a very high-pitched voice when you were in school, and it would have made us to connect a little bit more. The final thing is that you referred to a personal story of a personal retreat. I thought it was great, but I felt that that story could be a little bit longer, so that we'll be able to connect and understand it better. Toastmaster Folu, I like that you left us with a call to action. You tied hitting the space bar to relationships. I also like how you used the wordplay of digging and emerging. You did half the job by choosing that very beautiful topic, hit the space bar. And I can tell you for free, I will no longer look at my space bar the same way again. Lastly, Toastmaster Folu, I think I would come for that space bar template. Maybe as your evaluator today, I'll probably get a discount, or maybe get it for free. Back to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you so very much, Uche. I am already ahead of you in that queue. I will go for the hit the spacebar tutorial because I can see how it plays out with Toastmaster Folu. Thank you so very much. An absolutely smooth rendition back there by both the speaker and the evaluator. We segue straight to the third evaluation for today, and that will be delivered by none other than a scientist, a creativity enthusiast, a top baby girl extraordinaire, strategic relationship pathway is a current stride, and she is the current president of Pecten Toastmasters Club. Loves eating free, delicious food. This is something everyone who knows her knows about her. And we know that if you examine the labels you apply to yourself, every label is a boundary and limits you, then you don't let yourself cross. That way in dire. Without further ado, Toastmaster Ese Okerika will render the third evaluation and segue into the grammarian evaluation right after that. Thanks, Toastmaster Ese. Take it away.
Thank you, our general evaluator. And hello, everyone. Toastmaster Ibube, I see you on the call, but I just want to confirm that you're here and available to receive your evaluation. Excellent. I can see you. Well, I was very fond of your speech today. The purpose was to introduce or review using basic presentation software to help enhance your speech. And I have to say, one of the things you excelled at today is in meeting that objective. Well done on using a presentation software to help enhance the quality of how we learn to launch our ventures. I enjoyed it. I love the fact in your speech that not only did you use presentation software well, I also love the fact that you shared quotes in your speech, specifically the Mark Zuckerberg quotes. In addition, I loved your use of storytelling when you shared the example of Facebook and how they handle marketing on the Facebook platform. I thought that was a good way to connect an example while showing your technical expertise when talking about launching your venture. I also loved the use of not just words, but images in your presentation today. They were brief bullet points, they were brief phrases, and they were colorful images that would easily get the attention of everyone listening on your speech. Well done on excelling in this way. What are some things I think you may want to work on to improve and enhance subsequent speeches? My first would be as it pertains to audience engagement. Specifically, when you started and you asked us about, have you ever said, how was I able to do this? Or pondered about running a business? I would suggest giving a grace of between 2 to 10 seconds, especially when we ask audience questions, even if it's rhetorical and we do not expect responses. When you ask people questions, you have to give them time to ponder about it, think of what their responses would be, and then continue to listen to your speech. When you ask those questions and immediately continued, it did not give us time to either ponder or it would easily make us distracted from listening to you. That is something I'd like to see you work on with audience engagement. Give more time for the audience to ponder when you ask them questions before transitioning to your next speech. What would I like you to challenge yourself with? First off, I love the fact in your presentation today that you used presentation software. I would like to see you use the PowerPoint presentation software. I saw that you had shared it in the format of a PDF, but I feel that your presentation experience would have been even better enhanced if you had used the PowerPoint software specifically. So I'd like to see you do that. In addition, there's one thing we say in Toastmasters about the power of conclusion. I would have loved if in your summary, you had restated those 3 key things you wanted us to stay with: understanding your market, developing a solid plan, and learning the legal structure and compliance. I think restating those key things you wanted us to remember while summarizing and concluding would have been a beautiful way to really land the story. But I absolutely loved your speech. You did enhance it and meet the objective today. Well done on giving us quotes, of giving us examples with Facebook, on using bullet points, on using very colorful images that caught the audience attention. Keep working on maximizing time when you ask your audience questions, and challenge yourself by learning to summarize your key message in your conclusion and using the PowerPoint software when you present. Thank you for a very wonderful speech. I was fond of it, and I am now looking forward to launching my own venture in the future. Well done, Toastmaster Ibube. And it's back to you. Oh, sorry. Okay, and that is the end of Toastmaster Ibube's evaluation. I would now like to immediately segue into the next evaluation, which would be in my role as grammarian. I was so fond of the use of the word of the day today. The word of the day today was fond, F-O-N-D, and it means having a likeness for something or to like something or someone. And I loved how it was used today. As it pertains to grammar, which is what I would start with, I did not notice any improper usage of grammar. However, there were outstanding words and phrases that really caught my attention. For example, saying no is a great way to hit the space bar by Toastmaster Olem. I thought that was a beautiful way of merging what she had learned from two speeches, and it's something that immediately stays with us. Toastmaster Folu had said the word proclivities, irrespective of your proclivities. And proclivity means the tendency to choose or do something regularly. I really love that word. Toastmaster Ezra had referenced Toastmaster Intia. I love how Toastmaster Intia calls my name Aja with so much oomph. And oomph means the quality of being exciting or energetic. Toastmaster Nsia had said the word pedantic, and it means giving too much small details. Pedantic, proclivities, oomph, I thought those were very lovely words to learn. And I love the phrase by Toastmaster Olem, saying no is a great way to hit the space bar. And in addition, Toastmaster Folu, when she said, we all need space to grow into ourselves. Those were the outstanding words and phrases that caught my attention that I thought were brilliant ways of showing excellent use of grammar. I was very fond of them. Now, for our usage of the word of the day, Toastmaster Ireju used the word of the day once. Toastmaster Samuel used the word of the day, and I love the fact that he not only used the word of the day, he used another grammar fond of it by saying fondest, and he used it 2 times. Toastmaster Tosin used the word of the day once. Toastmaster Ntia used the word of the day 2 times, and I can already see the winner leaning forward very happily. And by my last count, our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ezra, fondly showed the use of the word of the day by using the word of the day an amazing 13 times as at the last count. We are very fond of your usage, and thank you so much, Toastmaster and guests. It was amazing being the grammarian. I'm very fond of our participation today. I will encourage us, keep thinking of fun things, and let us always celebrate when we hear people use the word of the day. It's back to you, our general evaluator.
Thank you so very much, Toastmaster Ase. And we'll just go straight to the next piece of this evaluation segment, and we will go straight to Toastmaster Ekuchi Joy James, who is going to give us the R counter report.
Thank you, the general evaluator. If you follow through up until this time, you would understand that there's been a lot going on. But irrespective, I am fond of taking up new challenges and still trudging on despite. Today, as regards the accountant's report, I think that we have done tremendously well. The people on this call did not make my job easy. I almost did not have any ahs and ums and pause feelers, clutch words to count, although some stood out to me. Toastmaster Essay particularly used a lot of ahs on the call. Toastmaster Olem used 3 ums, and there were some repeated words by Toastmaster Modi. He kept saying joy, joy, joy. That's my name. I don't know if he was calling me or he was trying to get my attention. All the same, it would have been nice if he used lesser joys in his speech. All in all, I think we did so well as regards our counting. Right on to who said what. Let me test our listening skills. Who said, every life needs a little space because it leaves room for good things to enter it? You can unmute and speak.
Toastmaster Folu.
Toastmaster Folu.
Try again.
Oh.
Who said? Who said?
Space.
Wait.
Toastmaster Folu paraphrased. Who said?
Sarah Allen.
There we go. That was it. You shouldn't have said it, but anyways, it's almost like cheats favors for everything. So that's the trick. This was a Folu paraphrase, but it was originally Sarah Allen that made that quote. Nice one. All right, next is who said, however, a few years ago, I fell completely in love, although it was love at 1,000 sites.
Toastmaster Toby.
I was trying not to use rats so no one will understand, but you guys are great listeners. Well done. Someone said, come to me in camera.
Toastmaster Folu.
Wow, we've really been
Toastmaster
listening.
follow.
We've really been listening. Last but not the least, building boundaries is a way to show self-love.
Toastmaster Ole.
Toastmaster Olem.
And that's that about that. Thank you so much for showing astute listening skills. And it's back to you, the general evaluator.
Thank you so very much, Toastmaster Ekuchi Joy James. You purr like a Rolls Royce whenever you handle segments, speaking segments in meetings. And thanks for making our lives absolutely more enjoyable just by being who you are. We will go straight again to the very last component from the top of the tag team. And this component will be rendered by a business and marketing strategist, a man who is on his position mastery pathway. And he is a member of the Seaside Toastmasters Club all the way from Vegas. He loves technology and tech-driven products and services, and he loves community service. And his favorite quote is, "Man, know thyself, and thou know the universe and God," of Pythagoras, the famous Pythagoras theory. It is over to you, Toastmaster Ebube Morty. The virtual lectern is yours.
Thank you very much, the General Evaluator. I'm going to be delivering my timers reports. For the table topic segment, we had 6 speakers and they all kept to time. For the prepared speech segment, we had 3 speakers and Toastmaster Toby, she did not meet the minimum time required. She was supposed to speak a minimum of 5 minutes, but she ended her speech at 4 minutes, 45 seconds. Toastmaster Folu, she kept to time. She spoke for 7 minutes, 21 seconds. Toastmaster Ebube did not keep to time. He spoke for 7 minutes, 45 seconds. For the evaluation segment of the meeting, they all kept to time. Thank you so much. And back to you, the General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. I like how succinct and how precise, surgically precise, Toastmaster Ebibo's rendition of a timer's report has been. But perhaps because you were speaking and then you were timer as well, it was impossible to prompt you. And I don't know who to cover the alternate role when you were speaking. That might be a forgivable offense in this context. And thank you so much, Toastmaster Ebube. Love the fact that you were speaking and also took up a role and then absolutely involved in more than one area in this meeting today. I think that's hats off to you all the way, Toastmaster Ebube Mordi. Now for the general evaluation, and for me, I am listed as the founder of the Pecten Toastmasters Club, but honestly, the excellence and the heights that Pecten Toastmasters has risen makes it almost unrecognizable from the club that I founded by just simply nearly bullying everybody around me to start a club. It is amazing, and one word for me is just preparation and perhaps organization. I know how much time that the VPE, Toastmaster Ekuchi Joy James, took out of work today to prepare for this meeting. I know how many calls. I probably know how much time Toastmaster Essie all the way over there, who knows, in Ontario or somewhere, took to give feedback. All the communications that were happening all the way before the meeting has shown in how smooth this meeting has run. The meeting kicked off on time. The meeting was well prepared for. The agenda was clear. Every bit on the agenda was stuck to. Timings were pretty much nearly in sync, accurate and all of that. Probably a 3-5 minutes sort of sleep, which is absolutely acceptable given how things transit. But what was key for me is the quality of the delivery at every stage of the meeting. This has been an absolutely enjoyable moment for me. And for one who's been away for a bit and back to see what's going on here, honestly, take a bow, every single member of this meeting and what you've put into it to take an absolutely well-rendered meeting at the end of this section and all of that. I try to get into this meeting, perhaps, and something I'm going to ask it maybe a bit of as a room for improvement. I know it's a Toastmasters meeting, and so therefore it's a bit of a closed meeting of people who are invited, but the passcode was necessary to get in. And sometimes if you want to encourage wide participation, you disable that component so people can get in a bit easier. It's a balance between security and versus encouraging broad participation for people who perhaps the neutrals who may not have all of the interest. And I think something we can take away and think about. But if I come back to the great things, I think it was absolutely fine to get people organized. I also think that another part that we might want to think a bit about is, again, dual hatting. We've got at all-time high 31 members at the peak of this meeting. At the time of the peak of this meeting, we're 31 members in the call. I'm just wondering if it isn't possible to not have people do dual roles. Get also my people was speaking, he had to also do timer, things like that. I'm just thinking, perhaps a little bit more push for other people to take up roles so that everybody has a chance to participate, and we spread that organization and participation across a wider group. Some people who had roles also did table topics, and just thinking that we could spread across a wider group. Always a better experience that way, and the meeting and the learning and the evaluation goes across a wider bunch. Having said all that, nothing could taint my joy and my absolute gobsmacked at just the beauty of this 1.5 to 2 hours spent here today. Toastmaster of the day, Eliza Ajay, with the pomp and pageantry. That's how you ran this meeting today. A masterclass in continuity. And may I just continue to say that wherever it is you go, you could do this for a living and absolutely smash the bank balance just by your capacity to manage all components of the meeting. The back end guys, the front end guys, the guys who spoke, the guys who worked at the back end, excellent stuff. Competence all the way, plus. May we continue to lift this to greater heights as we go on the journey in this club. So at this point, I yield the floor back to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Eliza Ajay. Thank you so much.
So I'm just blushing. So I'm using the clap to hide my face, just in case you did not notice. And I'm going to quote TMC Kak to say that, TMC Kak, he poured like a Rolls Royce Phantom all the while you spoke. I was gobsmacked. Yet every time you opened your mouth to speak, like I said earlier, I'm quite fond of you 14, and I'm fond of everybody 15. Thank you so much. Just in case, it was, yeah. So I have to say that this obviously has been the best Toastmaster meeting for the month. I know this is the first, but I think it's the best too. I'm just saying this, from the table topics, the people that were entering back to go to Uncle, and different things that people did for love, to what's the word, indoctrinating us to not kill rats. I'm so sorry, Temtobi, your presentation was amazing, but the next rat I see, my God, I would kill that rat respectfully to you, and to not use it. But I won't use a gum glue like you suggested. I'll use a stone and break the head. And then, Tiamfolu, everybody has been amazing. And, we've come towards the end of it. So it's my pleasure to hand the baton over to our amazing president, El Presidente TMSA Okerika, to wrap it up for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ezra. Please, can we all unmute our mics and put our hands together for a round of applause for our fantastic Toastmaster of the day, who I know would like to say he did pour like a Rolls Royce today. Toastmaster Ezra, I am so happy, excited, and proud of your growth. Today, my two speech crafters have shown fantastic excellence, just serving as Toastmaster of the day and Toastmaster to be completing her level. We are so proud of you in the Pecten family. This is less than 3 months in, and you're doing excellent work. I'd like to thank everyone who has participated in today's meeting. I'd first like to thank our 3 IPPs that are on the call today. Toastmaster Follow, hit the space bar. We know you're our acronym queen. So I think we need to add that you're now also our phrase queen, because you had phrases and you were dropping gems that I really loved. Hit the space bar. It's staying with me, just learning to give ourselves more space and more time, not just in our soul, but also in our body. Thank you for joining. Thank you for actively participating. And thank you. Yes, we're meeting you off camera because Pecten, we're trying to raise as much money as we can. So if we hold the Pecten Masterclass series, Pecten is happy to have you use the Pecten platform to host any Masterclass series. You want any events, we are very happy and willing. Thank you so much, Ma, for participating. Thank you, Toastmaster Uche, our IPP2, for joining and evaluating. Thank you, our General Evaluator and Charter President, Toastmaster Nsia. Thank you for serving as GE and Table Topics Master. Thank you for teaching us new words and also giving the feedback that we have duly noted and would work on. I'd also like to thank other role players. Thank you, our Accountant and VPE. Thank you for the words you're officially labeled for and the work work you do behind scene. Thank you so much. I'd also like to thank Toastmaster Ebube. I loved your speech. Thank you also for serving as the timer all the way from Abuja. We are very glad and hope you have loved participating in today's meeting. I'd also like to thank Toastmaster Toby. I am so proud of you. I heard the first version of the speech and I thought it was excellent, but you have come and even delivered a much more amazing speech. And yes, we might not like rats, some of us, but you have left a fond memory of how we might view them, keyword being might. But thank you so much and congratulations on officially completing your level 1. We are very proud of you. I'm very happy to get our DCP points. Well done. I'd also like to thank Toastmaster Olem. I love the creativity, specifically with how you handled our bonding session. This was a good habit for us to adopt in 2024, and I love how I'm seeing it going because it really does encourage a lot of guest participation. I loved the way everyone participated on the Menti in the chat box. I'd also like to thank everyone who actively participated in the chat box. We loved it. Yes, Toastmaster Olem, okay, we should also thank you because you are the mentor for Toastmaster Toby. So it's like a double celebration for you today, having one of your mentees officially complete their pathway. I'd also like to thank all our guests who joined in today that were maybe too shy to unmute their mic or at least participated on the chat box. Toastmaster or guest Kezaya, you're a long-time participant and we've loved having you here. Toastmaster Nameti, thank you for always showing up. Aline, you joined in early on time and you've been actively joining. Thank you. Aja Grace Eberechuku, I know you probably related to our Toastmaster of the Day. Thank you. We hope you loved it. Obina Ejim Richmond, you've also been here. Our newest member, Toastmaster Samuel, we saw you, we heard you, and you also participated in table topics. Well done. I also see T and Sembe. Thank you so much for joining. I'm very, very happy. We have less than 5 minutes to the time. But if any of those names I've mentioned wants to just unmute and still just say how they've enjoyed the experience or if they have any feedback for us, would be delighted. You can also share it in the chat box. But welcome and thank you so much for joining. Thank you to all our role players. Thank you for the words. Thank you for the presentations. Thank you. In fact, I'll just keep saying thank you, but this has been an excellent meeting. I would immediately segue into our announcements. And the first announcement we would have is, well, first of all, the District 94 Toastmasters Conference is coming up, and it's going to be coming up in the month of May. And District 94 means we're going to be having people from both French-speaking countries and English-speaking countries. All roads lead to Abuja. The early on-bed ticket sales is ongoing right now. If you're interested, if you've not gotten any of the correspondence, we would be happy to share it with you. But we're encouraging you to please come in, please register. It's $100, but early on-bed registration is $75. It's a good way to network because everyone's going to be in Abuja from different countries, different locations, different divisions. All roads lead to Abuja in May, and we hope you would be happy to join it. Our second announcement would be as it pertains to within the club. The month of February is when we're expected to host our club contests. So officially, that already means the planning for our next meeting is going to be our club contest. We'll be sharing further details when we iron out some of the information, but we are calling on all registered Toastmasters members. The good thing about this contest is if you win all the way, you get a free paid trip to the United States, including visa. So please, please, and please come and participate. You do not want to miss out. If you want to get a free visa to the US, come and participate at the club level. And as you win across levels, if you get up to the district level, that means automatically you get free visa and free funded trip to the United States. Is that not going to be amazing? Are you not encouraged? So we would be calling on all our registered Toastmasters to participate and would also call on our guests to join us in our next meeting for our club contest. In addition, by March, would officially kick off renewal season. In Toastmasters, the Toastmasters year is usually for 1 year, but in managing budgets, we usually collect our fees every 6 months. So please, as we make our budget for February, our treasurer is already going to be in some of our DMs. Let us start planning and prepping for us in helping to pay our dues and stay active members. And then the final announcement would be to encourage all of us, especially those who are registered members. Please, if you have not checked into your Toastmasters pathway, the Toastmasters is changing their learning management system. So if you do not want to lose all your set levels you've already completed or projects, please log it in and ensure you also notify our VPE. In fact, once you log it in, our VPE does get notified and she immediately approves it. So please approve it so that when Toastmasters International transitions to the new system, you get credit for the amazing hard work you've done thus far. And you can also see on the chat box, if you're a guest and this is your first time, there's a link that has been joined by our VPPR. Please fill it to give us your feedback, to give us your contact details, if you'd like to join our WhatsApp group, if you want to be part of us and get first-hand information. This has been an excellent and amazing meeting. I'm so happy and glad to everyone who has participated. To officially end the meeting, it is now time for us to practice our speaking skills, our pronunciation and diction by testing, or rather doing the tongue twister. Who would like to volunteer? I'd like someone who has not spoken before. Toastmaster Nameti, I see you dropping a love note for us on the chat box. Is it okay for you? Are you available to participate in our tongue twister? You just need to read it 5 times. Would you like to go? 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 Who else? Who else? If Toastmaster Nameti is not available. Okay, yes, I can see you're muted. Toastmaster Nameti, do you want to read out the speaker, the tongue twister, just 5 times?
Yes, I love tongue twisters and I'm not scared of making mistakes. So let's start off.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead. We're waiting to hear you read it out.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I need to apologize. I'm in a noisy environment. I thought I could steal this, but please let me pass. Maybe
Toastmaster Toby's hands are raised.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Nameti. And don't worry, next time we hope you get the opportunity, but you can still practice it even if you do not say it here. Toastmaster Toby, this is a walrus, not, but we know you'd still love to participate. Please go ahead. In 5 sequence, please read our top twister. Thank you.
All right. Wayne went to Wales to watch walruses. 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 Wayne went to Wales to watch walruses.
Wow. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Toby, for that talk twister. And our Toastmaster of the day, I'd also like, in the name of gender diversity, and because we are fond of you today, would also like you to participate. Let's hear you participate in the tongue twister just 5 times.
Thank you so much, El Presidente. TM Joy, can you project the very easy tongue twister?
Sorry, give me a minute. I'm struggling.
Take your time. I'm reciting it in my head, please.
Yeah.
Let's know.
You might have to just go on without the screen. Toby, can you type it in the chat box for him?
Great.
For him to practice.
Type it slowly. Remember to use your space bar.
Okay, here we are. I think I have it now.
Space bar.
I think I have it now. There you go.
Excellent.
TMC, the recording is still, or shouldn't the recording have stopped by
Yes,
now?
it's part of our practice. Go ahead.
Right. I was just kidding. Wayne went to Wales to watch walruses. 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 Should I say one more time just for Wayne went to Wales to watch walruses? I was joking. I'm good at this stuff. I was just joking. So that
Thank you.
Maybe I should have picked the harder one.
Thank you, our Toastmaster of the day. Thank you, everyone who has participated. It has been lovely having you join us. If you have any suggestion or feedback, please contact us. We'll be very happy. If you want more information, any of the executives was available and willing to support you. Thank you to everyone, and we have loved having you participate in today's meeting. The meeting is officially over. Let us continue to show love the way we want, receive love the way we prefer. And remember what I had said, like they say in the book of Corinthians, love is kind, love is patient. May we always be fond of showing patience and kindness to everyone we know. Thank you, and Pecten Toastmasters meeting is officially over. Thank you.